Lewis Hamilton just put Mohammed Ben Sulayem on blast. He recently expressed strong criticism towards Formula One, highlighting its discriminatory practices against women. The seven-time world champion also disclosed his lack of support for Mohammed Ben Sulayem, a prominent figure in the global motorsport scene. Let's take a look at this developing saga in today's video. In a passionate address delivered in Melbourne prior to the Australian Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton voiced his support for Susie Wolff, who is married to his Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff. Wolff has initiated legal action in France against the FIA, which is overseen by Ben Sulayem. At 41 years old, Susie Wolff is upset about being investigated by the FIA regarding a possible conflict of interest. This scrutiny stemmed from her role as the head of the F1 Academy, which is operated and owned by the sports owners Liberty Media, while also being married to a Formula One team principal Toto Wolff. However, the FIA Compliance Department reviewed and dismissed this issue in December. On the issue, Hamilton said, "I'm incredibly proud of Susie. I think she's so brave and she stands for such great values. She's such a leader in a world where often people are silenced. For her to be standing up sends such a great message." Seemingly referring to the woman involved in the Red Bull scandal, who has raised concerns about alleged harassment by team principal Christian Horner, a matter that he has been cleared of in an internal investigation. Hamilton further commented, "It is still a male-dominated sport. We're living in a time where the message is if you file a complaint, you will be fired. The women in the Red Bull saga has been suspended on full pay, and that is a terrible narrative to be projecting to the world, especially when we're talking about inclusivity in the sport. We need to make sure we stay true to the core values." I love that she's taken it out of this world of F1 because there is a real lack of accountability here, within this sport, within the FIA. Things are happening behind closed doors. There is no transparency, and we need that. The fans need that. How can you trust the sport and what is happening here if you don't have that? Hopefully the stand she's taking now will create change, will have a positive impact, and especially for women. Ben Sulayem has frequently been at the centre of such controversies, with a series of issues arising during his presidency. The handling of the Susie Wolff matter last year is widely viewed as one of these controversies. When questioned about Ben Sulayem's suitability to lead the FIA, George Russell commented, "You trust that the leaders in this sport have the best interest at their heart rather than their own interests. It goes back to the transparency side of things. If things are transparent and we see the outcome of these cases, we all have a chance to judge for ourselves with all of the facts and figures in front of us. But when we don't have the facts and figures and there is no transparency, you always think there's something being hidden. That's why I think it's so important for the sport now, as Lewis said, to send the right message to everybody who's supporting Formula One, watching Formula One, wants to be involved in Formula One, that things aren't just swept under the carpet." In other news, Mercedes might have added an extra challenge for Lewis Hamilton in his pursuit of an 8th World Championship title, especially after his move to Ferrari in 2025 was revealed. Hamilton surprised the Formula One community with the announcement of his switch to Maranello in 2025, departing from the team that played a pivotal role in securing 6 of his 7 World Championships. The driver market has been stirred into a frenzy by this move, and rumours about various staff members have also surged. Many key figures now face a test of loyalty, with the options likely boiling down to choosing between Mercedes or Hamilton. In a surprising turn of events, reports have surfaced indicating that Mercedes has successfully recruited 2 senior figures from Ferrari. This strategic move signals Mercedes' determination to regain a competitive edge and vie for World Championship titles once again. According to Autosport, Simone Resta, Ferrari's former chief designer, has reached an agreement to join Mercedes as the Strategic Development Director, collaborating with James Allison. Additionally, Enrico Sampo is rumoured to be joining the Brackley-based team as the head of performance software applications. It's nearly confirmed that Lewis Hamilton will move to Ferrari without his race engineer and close friend Peter Bono Bonington, who is likely to remain at Mercedes. Sky Sports F1 commentator David Croft recently suggested that Hamilton should make an effort to convince fellow Brit and Red Bull design expert Adrian Newey to join him at Ferrari, especially given the ongoing situation at Red Bull. But there may be hope for Hamilton yet. Both he and George Russell are optimistic about Mercedes' performance potential as the 2024 season progresses. Both drivers have expressed confidence that the W15 car has demonstrated itself to be genuinely fast and possesses significant untapped potential. Mercedes started the year aiming to rectify the setbacks of 2022 and 2023. The Silver Arrows have faced challenges in adapting to Formula One's latest ground effect era, managing only 1 victory throughout those 2 seasons. Following numerous adjustments to their package during the winter, Mercedes showed promising early signs as Lewis Hamilton and George Russell topped the first day of practice at the Bahrain opener. Russell even secured a spot on the second row of the grid, although he fell out of podium contention on race day due to car cooling issues. At the second round of the season held at Saudi Arabia's high-speed Jeddah Corniche circuit, Mercedes faced tougher competition, finishing behind Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren and Aston Martin in both qualifying and the race. Despite this, both drivers believe they have a solid foundation to build upon with the W15 car, and anticipate unlocking more performance as the season progresses. I think you've only got to look at the potential and the performance we showed in FP1 and FP2 in the last two races, said Russell. We were genuinely quick and the performance went away from us into qualifying. We have some ideas why that may have been. I think it's also important just to remember we've only done 3 days of practice and 2 races, and I think if you compare that to a football team, if they've done 3 days of training together the first 2 games of the season, they'll still be understanding how to get the most out of each other and maximise the team. So that's sort of where we're standing right now, and it's so close out there between the 4 teams after Red Bull, so it can easily swing. Lewis Hamilton, who will be moving to Ferrari at the end of the season, echoed George Russell's sentiments. He denied that Mercedes is grappling with a car as difficult as its W14 and W13 predecessors, indicating a more manageable situation with the current W15 model. Hey, it's definitely not the evil sister or anything like that, the 7-time world champion stressed. I think we have an amazing car and there's a lot of potential in it, and I think we just haven't maximised it through setup and through, ultimately, mistakes. We were obviously not happy with the performance of those first couple of races, but I think there's a lot more potential in it that we haven't quite extracted yet. That's what everyone's focus is on, just trying to understand the car, and we're hoping this weekend is a step forward. A huge amount of work has gone on, Ray. Everyone's heads are down in the numbers, and I feel positive for this weekend. We've had 2 not such great races, but there's a long way ahead. And as if that wasn't enough good news for the 7-time world champion, former team manager Peter Windsor suggests that Felipe Massa's legal case against Formula One, the FIA, and Bernie Ecclestone regarding the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix could establish a precedent. This precedent might potentially provide Lewis Hamilton with an opportunity to re-examine the events of the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Massa is currently pursuing legal action against Formula One, the FIA, and Bernie Ecclestone for damages. This comes after Ecclestone admitted in a previous interview that he was aware of foul play during the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, but chose not to investigate until the following year. This delay ensured that according to FIA regulations, the World Championship result couldn't be changed. According to Windsor, this legal action by Massa could potentially have repercussions for the 2021 title fight. In that case, Lewis Hamilton was overtaken by Max Verstappen on the final lap of the final race after race director Michael Massa deviated from standard safety car protocols to set up a last-lap shootout. Windsor discussed this matter on his YouTube channel, saying, Abu Dhabi 21 was an absolute error of a huge proportion. It resulted in Max Verstappen winning the championship. It was a one-race error, but as a result, Max won the World Championship. On the basis of what Felipe is doing about 2008 in Singapore, in theory, there is certainly a lot more discussion to be had about what happened in Abu Dhabi 21. In my view, the last lap should not have been counted, and Lewis should have won that race and should have been world champion. Deep down inside, if you said to Lewis Hamilton, if you lost the 2008 World Championship to Felipe Massa, but you got the 21 championship back, would you be comfortable with that? I think he'd be very comfortable with that. Peter Windsor believes that Lewis Hamilton has a case if he decides to pursue it through legal channels. But the 7-time world champion is unlikely to revisit the heartbreak of the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix before retiring. Hamilton has worked hard over the past 12 months to move past the incident, as he explained. Abu Dhabi, the scar is there and there will always be that memory. Despite the events of the race, there is no animosity between Hamilton and Verstappen 2 seasons later. Hamilton told Autosport, I think even we spoke back then. Max, in that moment, he did what he had to do. It was nothing on him, it was the sport that let us down. This means that whatever happens to the Massa case, Hamilton won't be a title short of his current number. If he loses one, he can take one right back. The question is, does he still have a shot to earn another one, or has Max Verstappen robbed him of any future chance of that happening? Tell us in the comments section down below, and as always, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for the hottest F1 news.